Well, those of you who are still voting on the 1st of May, who haven't had your votes taken away from you at just a few months' notice, are on the verge of something truly, truly massive. The penny is beginning to drop that the next battle, the big political battle, is going to be between Reform and Labour. And you're seeing that play out now. People are seeing the polls, they're seeing the research, they're seeing the organisation from Reform, they're seeing the local by-election results for Reform, and they're seeing that Reform now are the main opposition to Labour. And that's why, any talk of a Conservative Reform deal seems to be exclusively now coming from the Tory side, who I think are already getting pretty desperate. And as they're doing that, Nigel Farage and Reform are actually concentrating on policy, concentrating on reversing the insane situation our country now finds itself in because of the Conservatives in government for all those years. Now, I've predicted on this channel previously that there's no chance Kemi Badenoch will lead the Tories into the next general election because they're still going backwards. The decline is continuing. Of course, it is a very hard job for Kemi Badenoch because the Conservatives have absolutely no credibility and bizarrely now seem to spend most of their time talking about doing the complete opposite next time to what they actually did in government when they had the chance. And so, surprise, surprise, talk already of the Conservatives having yet another leadership election because the Conservatives are still clearly going backwards now under Kemi Badenoch. And of course, we know how much the Tories like to have a row. I've actually thought this broad church approach in the Conservatives, particularly the Parliamentary Party, is a massive weakness because they're not a cohesive group. They don't agree on much. And so you're seeing the panic button potentially hit again here. And just consider this, that 1 in 4 Conservative voters from the last election think that Reform is doing a better job of holding this government to account. But if you want to see the scale of change that we could be about to see in the next set of elections, which in many ways will be the first test for Reform, whether or not they can build on the momentum to secure a Reform government at the next general election, just consider that in 4 of the 5 mayoral elections where we've seen research now, Reform are ahead of the Conservatives. Well, thanks so much to Private Internet Access for sponsoring today's video. 30 million downloads. And I've been using PIA on my phone via that app, and it's just so easy to use. As you can see, Private Internet Access encrypts your internet connection, comes with loads of entertainment benefits. So as a VPN, it allows you to change your geolocation so you can unlock more content on Netflix, for example. It works on all platforms, and with this special discount, if you see the link below, you get 83% off, which breaks down as little as just £1.57 per month. So with over 30 million downloads, if you too would like to check out Private Internet Access, see the link below for the big discount. So look, if this actually plays out, if this actually happens, it will be a political earthquake. We start off in Greater Lincolnshire, where the excellent, superb Andrea Jenkyns is the Reform mayoral candidate, and YouGov there have Reform with a 15-point lead over the Conservatives there and winning that election. In the Hull and East Yorkshire mayoral election, Luke Campbell, you see there, has a 14-point lead. He's 20 points ahead of the Conservatives, 15 points ahead of Labour, and it's the Lib Dems YouGov have there in second place. In the West of England mayoral voting intention, bad boy of Brexit, Aaron Banks there in third, but once again ahead of the Conservatives, and it seems the Greens could win there. And finally in Cambridgeshire and Peterborough, that's the only race now where the Conservatives are leading, and even there, Reform second as the main challenger. You also have this research being released on the mayoral election in Doncaster, and you see there, it's Reform winning that according to these numbers, with Labour in second and the Conservatives third. So a very clear trend there. You could be about to see some massive Reform victories, but pretty uniformly there, the battle is Labour versus Reform. The Conservatives are in decline. I'm sure they're going to panic and have another leadership election. But please do let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. The next set of local elections really, I think, will set a marker as to the next big battle, which, as I said, is going to be Labour versus Reform at the next general election. Thanks so much for watching.